Holy shit from a Grackle's arse, 2023 was a really good year for music, wasn't it? And a good year for gaming. Baldur's Gate 3, Hi-Fi Rush, Street Fighter 6, others I haven't played but would like to. Way good this year, although, side note, I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet, but I will. And as always when it comes to these things, or at least as always since 2019, I have about 30 albums to go through. As always, these lists are completely arbitrary and subjective, even up to number 1, as these are just opinions of mine. But I still reckon you should listen to all of these because, for one thing, you may discover something new to like, and for another, you may hear about a new actually heard stuff about and just decide, you know what, I might check them out. But before we get to numbers 30 to 21, I do have about 5 honourable mentions that just barely missed the list by mere inches, and it was hard to even boil it down to so few. It was that close of a year. And, you know, for clarity's sake, I'll even chuck in some short reviews for all of them. And I'm not going to number them either, but let's start with Killer Mike with Michael, a genuinely fantastic hip-hop record with heart-wrenching themes and a great performance from Mike himself. However, there was a ton of other great rap that dropped since, and this one did age more as I kept listening to it. I still recommend giving it a listen. Humanity's Last Breath with Ashton. There was no shortage of albums that didn't care for my personal safety, and this was the least forgiving of a lot. Great production and instrumentation, just solid black death metal that really scares the crap out of me. Can drag a little bit, but still really good. Zulu, A New Tomorrow. There was a lot of great black-led punk this year, and this is easily the best album in that line, and it still isn't on the main list, mostly because a lot of the songs are way too short, but it's easily one of 2023's most important albums. Angra, Cycles of Pain. I didn't think I'd enjoy a Brazilian music-tinged power metal album, but I did. This can be a bit drawing in some areas, which is probably why it's not on the main list, but it's a downright fun and refreshing album for the genre, and it's got tons of quality to it as well. And finally, Black Button with Rejoice. I fully expected this one to be on the list proper, but a recent listen, some parts don't hold up as well. The parts that do still fucking rule, and if you want a great underground black and punk album, give this a spin. These guys really deserve it. Now though, onto the main list. Number 30, Athena, Subway Anthem. One of the many complications about making these lists is seeing what other music channels I watch put on their own year-end lists, so you can thank Bogdan HXC for the appearance of Athena here. Swedish hardcore punk that's extremely emotive is good, add the production that makes it great, and great lyrics and performances that make it even better, even exceptional. And this is only number 30 on the list, but hey, if I have to start somewhere, then I can't think of many places better than this, and, you know, for that purpose, ignore the next 29 albums when I say that. Again, this is all completely arbitrary and just my opinion. Number 29, Sincere Engineer, Cheap Grills. And now for an album that almost didn't make it. It was a difficult choice between this, one album we'll get to later, and 2 of the honourable mentions as to what in my mind should have stayed, so I decided, hey, why not let it be effortlessly charming Midwest tinge pop punk. I think this album is better than their debut, and their songcrafting, honesty and production value have come leaps and bounds, and it's unfortunate that it came out in a year of great music, but I just couldn't bring myself to not include it, so it's on here mostly because I fucking love these guys, and you should too, they're great. 28, Hot Mulligan, Why Would I Watch? This is a genre I'm going to be going over at least a few more times in this list, but it was a great year for mathcore tinged emo punk. Hot Mulligan dropped all the earlier classics for it, and more than ever it feels like they have their own identity, and with the fantastic themes that they use on here, the nicely executed riff work, the raw feel to the sound, and the pure passion on display, I'm looking forward to seeing if these guys can expand on this. Also, all of the songs have really long stupid titles, and I smile a big dumb grinny smile each time I read them. They just make me happy. Number 27, Cable Ties, All Her Plans. You know what else really showed up this year besides weird and unique genre mixes? Australia, that's what, and also Who. In this fine post-punk charge album, Cable Ties talk about personal topics like family loss and relationships in a subversively clever way, against a backdrop of crushing guitar and smooth bass work and some very pinpoint production as well. It's one of the best timed albums of 2023 to boot, deliberate in its pacing and very clean in execution, and hopefully Cable Ties get more listeners from this because they're pretty great and this album is too. Number 26, Ren, Sick Boy. In terms of rap music, or at least the rap I listen to, we had a good year. Killer Mike dropped a banger, as did Woski and Grandson, and rest assured that this isn't the only rap album on my list. Anyway, holy shit, the themes on this are dark to say the least, but I love the storytelling approach taken. Ren comes off as a true performer with impeccable timing and convincing vitriol to his delivery. There's also great writing and production, and it does throw in some light stuff, but in all honesty, I hope Ren gets more credit and more recognition soon. The dude deserves it, especially after the work he put into an album like this. Number 25, Tomb Mold, The Enduring Spirit. I caught these guys' last album back in 2019 and I really liked it, but I wasn't super crazy about it because I felt like it didn't do enough. Oh, what a fool I was, but this album is thankfully better than that one. It takes more risks and has more scope and ambition than their last album, and it still delivers crushing drumming and fantastic guitar work while working on concepts flawlessly. It has one of the best long-term closing tracks of the year too, and the production and sheer dedication on display is something to witness for yourself, so go do that as this album rules so hard. Number 24. Rancid, Tomorrow Never Comes. Back in 2019, I put the new Bad Religion album at the time in my top 30. In 2021, I put the new Face to Face album in my top 30. I guess I have a thing for legendary punk bands in these lists, so I look forward to 2025. Rancid have earned their reputation for a reason, and thanks to their signature energy and sense of fun, fast-paced and catchy punk tunes, and adding some punchy production, not to mention fun lyrics and effortless chemistry, this is another great album by another great band. I really should listen to their other stuff at some point. That is completely on me. I will rectify that soon, though. Number 23, Screaming Females, Desire Pathway. I remember first hearing about this band while gathering groups for Season 5 of Backtracking, and they became one of my favourite bands to go over. I do feel slight shame for almost missing this album, but for 5 years away, they haven't lost a single step. Put out through maybe the best indie punk label going right now in Don Giovanni, the album is carried by the band's force of personality, witty writing, and flawless typing and song flow. Also, as I was writing this, I found out that the band have officially broken up as of December, which saddens me greatly. Still, thanks for the memories and the incredible album Screaming Females. There might not be another band quite like you. Number 2, Youth Fountain, Together and Lonesome. Time and time again, YouTube's ad system will introduce me to a new band, and a few years ago, one of them was Youth Fountain. This is the band's third offering, and it might just be their best one. It's another emo-tinged pop-punk album with a nice throwback feel to the sound and really nice guitar layering and engineering, but the writing and performances really push the album up a bit in my opinion. It's not the best in the style, but it's a damn great example of a talented and likeable band pushing themselves when needed, and it's a great way for them to step up to the plate. Hopefully they continue to elevate. Number 21, Beartooth, The Surface. I think that each time Beartooth drop a new album, it's likely going to be in a list of mine. I don't think this is their best one or even their most nuanced, but it's their most positive and happy, and I don't think that this band would be capable of making me feel good about myself. It's not toxic with its nature either, written as earnestly as the music always is, and Caleb Shomo continues to be a compelling frontman. The album has plenty of heavy hardcore punk to go around, as well as performances, yes, but it's just a very uplifting experience, so spin it and grin it. It's gonna put a smile on your face if you feel like shit. And that'll about do it for numbers 30 to 21, although tonight, in fact, pretty much after this video has gone up, I'll be putting up the parts for the last episode of PPW vs. AVW, but the next video you'll actually see me in will be tomorrow. I'll be covering numbers 20 to 11 of my top 30, and I'll see you all for that. As always, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye-bye.